Yo, what is going on, boys and girls? It is your boy Aaron, and welcome back to another banger YouTube video. I haven't really been posting that much because there really hasn't been anything new with NuBank other than this channel that it has been in, like I said in previous videos, and it's been kind of respecting that. And here recently it has broke out of that, which we're gonna slightly maybe talk about. But in today's video, we are just going to be breaking down NuBank's earnings like we said we were going to do, and we're just going to be talking about some things, and we're going to be talking about the future. Of course I'm still invested, and you can better believe I bought some in these $14 ranges. Come on, because like you never know, it could literally never hit this range ever again. So we bought some, but let's go ahead and get into this video. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be sort of a long one. I'm going to try to talk about a lot of things. So grab your popcorn, man, and sit down, relax, and let's go ahead and get on into this. We're going to talk about the chart first, like I said. Back here, it broke out of the channel on February 23rd, and it kind of sucked a little bit. You know, I was like, dang, maybe we're going to get a bounce, and maybe we're going to go revisit the top, but it broke down, unfortunately. Maybe that was in anticipation of earnings being bad, because you know how these market makers are, man. They get this information way sooner than we do. So they just started driving the price down a little bit. There was no real reason. I think that day honestly was a bad day for SPY, so that's the only thing I really could think about, or what I just said about them anticipating bad earnings. But if we really think about it, y'all, the earnings was crushed, man. They killed the earnings, and we're going to talk about it here soon. But we kind of broke down out of this channel, and now we are sitting at $14.98, which kind of sucks, like I said. But we printed this nice little green channel at the bottom here, so hopefully we can get a little reversal and start going back up. They always do this with NuBank. They always play these little shenanigans, and it kind of sucks, but it gives you buying opportunity, and if you're a long-term investor, you always want to buy whenever the stock's cheap and just watch your money grow and grow and grow. So that is the chart right there. Nothing really special. I guess we may have hit the support right here in this 1450 range. What was the low? 1470 range, and then went back up because that's where it went to last time before going back up. And I'm sure if we zoom back, $14 range. Yep, we had a lot of resistance. Look at this, 14, 14, 14, and then back down. But that is not the point of this video. The point is these earnings. And it took me a little minute to make this video because I just wanted to make sure I understood all of the terminology. I understood like why the stock went down, because it's good, and I still don't really understand. Like, we had such a great earnings and the stock just kind of plummeted. What is this, 9%? So that sucks, but we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. I got this pulled up here. I unfortunately wasn't able to watch the earnings call. I could go back and watch it. I watched a little bit of it again just to make sure I understood everything. And but we're just gonna be talking about a little bit of this, and starting with one thing I want to say first, and that is going down here. NuBank is now the #1 private financial institution with 113 million customers in Brazil. So in Brazil, they're the #1 private financial institution with an 86% activity rate. That's just insane, man. They have basically taken over Brazil, and if we can get that in all other countries it's going to start moving into, then the customers is going to explode, the revenue, bro, everything is going to explode. But let's get into this. Customers year over year, 113. I forget what the number he said was, like the growth, but 131 million customers, gained 17 million in 2025, and I think it was 4 million, I think, in Q4 of 2025, which is just kind of insane. So this is awesome with a 83% user rate. You just can't beat it, y'all. You just can't beat it. The RPAC, this is, I forget what this is actually. All right, so I got it looked up here, and it means is a key metric used to measure the average revenue generated per active customer, and that is $15 per active customer, which is about 131 million. That rose up $4. Unfortunately, I can't quite explain it too well to you guys, and that kind of sucks, but it rose. That is something that investors look for. Revenue 4.9 billion, and that is driven by active customers, and that is driven by this ARPC and everything else we're going to be talking about. Revenue is just increasing. Gross profits are also increasing. Now, this efficiency ratio, whenever I first heard this, I was like, efficiency ratio 20%. I have no idea what this even means. So again, we looked this up, and this is a financial metric that measures a company's overhead and operational expenses relative to its revenue. And I know what you're thinking. What does that mean, dude? What does that mean? And it basically answers the question, how much does it cost the company to generate $1 of revenue? It's literally that simple. I looked it up as well, and a lower efficiency ratio is actually better. And I think the standard for fintech is around like 50 to 60%, and NuBank is crushing it at 20%. So that is awesome. Net income. So at the end of the day, all the money they made and can put in their pocket at the end of the year is 895 milli. Oh, yeah. So this is just insane. They just absolutely crushed it. I think the EPS was 18. They met it. So that's really like the only thing I can think of as to why this would go down. But I did want to read this from the founder of NuBank, and that guy is David Velez, I think is how you say it. But anyways, here we go. In Q4 25, we increased scale, deepened engagement, and expanded profitability, closing the year with 131 million customers and 17 million net adds in 2025, while ARPAC reached $15. That's insane. Strong engagement and higher monetization drove a record quarterly revenues of $4.9 billion. Oh, also, I just want to say they started to invest in the AI space so they could expand better, but, that's a different story. The performance, combined with operating leverage and disciplined risk management, resulted in an all-time high net income of $895 million and an ROE of 33%. Now, ROE, what is that, you ask? Well, let's go ahead and look this up. ROE measures how efficiently a company uses shareholders' equity to generate profit. Basically, I put $100 in. How much can they generate with that $100? It's so simple. Of 33%. 33% I thought was low, but I looked up SoFi, which is basically a competitor, and y'all, 4%. 4%. 4%. And NuBank is over here with 33%. These results reflect our ability to combine disciplined growth with sustained profitability while continuing to invest in our core markets. As we enter 2026, we remain fully focused on winning in Latin America while building the capabilities that will allow NuBank to evolve into a global digital banking platform over time. Yo, so this company is so focused on Latin America, which is good. You want a company that wants to like invest in their roots and stuff like that. You don't want these companies that get like too big to where they can't manage it properly. They are taking the time. They are making sure they build that foundation in each and every one of these states, these Latin America countries, before they roll this out globally. And if you know, NuBank just recently got the U.S. National Banking Charter, so we should see it rolled out in the U.S. here very, very soon. And you best believe that I am going to be partaking in that. Going back over here to this earnings, the reason, again, they have been able to generate so much revenue is from the countless things that they offer, man. I think what they said was they offer a little over 100 different services, anywhere from just managing small business money to like Amazon partnership. Look at this right down here, subscription managers, literally anything you can possibly think of, credit cards, bank accounts, loans, like literally anything. You can see the timeline from January to December. This is 2025. They added a bunch of stuff. This is kind of insane. And going back to all of this, how we performed against our 2025 priorities. I don't really know what that means. But anyways, like I said, they became the #1 private financial institution in Brazil with 113 million customers with an 86% activity rate. So again, let's say there's 100 people that are all using NuBank. 86% of them, 86 people are active, right? Mexico, 14 million customers, 15% adult population, banking license underway. Woo-wee. Colombia, growth and credit access, 4.2 million, 70% year over year. Portfolio is 0.6 billion, scaling with healthy unit economics. Credit portfolio expansion, total portfolio $32.7 billion, a 40% year over year. Just keep going, man. Just U.S. expansion, conditional approval for national bank charter in January 2026. AI and credit, whatever that is, AI and customer experience. Like, come on, boys and girls. This just keeps getting better and better. This is a little breakdown of how they got to a net income of $895, total revenue, credit, float, free, total direct cost, funding, cost of credit, transaction costs, stuff like that. And they are still walking away with $895. Y'all, you just can't get any better. You really can't. Deposits are going through the roof. What is this? This looks to be a 29% year-over-year growth. What is this? Maybe $33 billion? $41.9 billion. My bad. Deposited. And that is in US dollars. I can keep going on and on and on and on and on and on and on about how well this stock performed in earnings and how much I don't understand why this is going down. I really don't understand. But we're still going to be going into it. So some key takeaways we can look into of earnings. Maybe people were kind of maybe hoping for a little bit more growth among some of these, for one of these little areas here. Maybe they were hoping for, maybe more of this, more customers. I'm not really sure. I thought earnings were crushed. And if you kind of watch the earnings call, you'll also think earnings was crushed. I don't really see anything bad with this. Like I said, they met expectations with EPS, so that's maybe the only thing that I could think of. But let's go back to this chart. I do have a challenge that I started. I started it on Interactive Brokers, but then I switched back to Robinhood to be able to just instantly be able to buy, because I hate waiting 5 days. Because if I waited 5 days, I would miss these amazing buy opportunities. I think I've gotten my average down to like maybe high 15s, but we're still going to be buying as much as we can. But I think that is the video, y'all. NuBank is crushing it. They are so very focused on planting that foundation, right? They're planting the foundation, so whenever they do eventually go worldwide, they can manage it and they can roll with it and they can keep everything going. Oh man. Now, this is my thoughts for where I think maybe NuBank can go in the future. I still have a full belief that this is a $20-$30 stock, and it is going to come with that US expansion and eventually getting into other territories. But let's talk about the US expansion for a second. So as I went back and watched the video, I noticed that the US national banking charter is still in progress. So we got it, but it is not officially like rolled out into the US yet. And let's just go ahead and look up how many millions of adults are in the US right now, okay? So the rough number of US adults in America is 267 million adults. And this is as of July 2024. So it's obviously going to increase a little bit. That number is probably at like what, 275, 280, maybe 290. So that is a lot of freaking people that this is about to get exposed to. And like I said, and I know a few other people that are also going to do it. I'm switching to NuBank as soon as it becomes available. I hate these modern, or not modern, these old school traditional banks. I really do, man. I think they're way too saturated. And essentially, like, if I go in there, I can't even freaking pull my money out half the time. It's so annoying. So I don't want that. Like, I don't want that at all. I'm done with that. So it is going to get exposed here very, very soon to a huge market whenever that banking charter actually goes through. And then I think once it fully gets approved and starts going, and then I think once it fully gets approved and NuBank starts getting rolled out in the US, that's when we really start to see this chart start to go up a little bit. Would love to see this go back up into this channel. I said it last time. I don't know if it's going to happen at this point, but if it gets back into this channel, we just have to watch for these highs up here. It was in a little bit of a selling channel too, actually, if you really kind of think about it. It was in this little selling channel that it just broke out of. So really we need to go back and test it, get back into this breakout of it, and go back up. But again, I think all of that kind of comes with the US. It relies heavily on the US currently right now. So where I could maybe see the chart going, hopefully it goes back up, like I said, but maybe it'll consolidate in this 14 range, maybe to this $15 range, like it did back here in the past, in this $13 to $11 range, maybe until the next earnings. I know you don't want to hear that, but these bank stocks, man, they move real slow. And that's okay. That's why we're invested in it. I don't like these stocks that make huge dramatic moves. This is a little bit too much, 18 to 14 on great earnings. I don't know, but yeah, if you enjoyed this video, I hope you're done with your popcorn. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. Please consider giving it a thumbs up. Maybe a comment, maybe a follow, maybe a subscribe or something like that. I don't really care. You don't have to. But that is the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.